Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, hello. Look at all these faces. I know. All right, how bad was the sound off for you guys?
Was the what?
It was good for me.
It was good?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we had a lot of issues with the sound delaying. So something up close there. Is that you, Danielle?
Yes.
Danielle, you're wearing glasses? What?
Yes, they do.
Is that your dad?
Yeah, that's my dad.
Hello.
Hey, I think you cut me out of some directorial shots. I had opportunity to direct and you cut me out.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I have opportunity to direct. You can let me direct.
I specifically said cameraman.
I have opportunity to direct.
Well, great to see
That last scene, I could have gave you some direction.
Does he know the director is sitting right here?
Here, the director's sitting right here.
But she wasn't there. I could have. I'm wasting my talent being a cameraman.
Become a
She did a
cameraman.
beautiful job. They all did a beautiful job. Hello, everybody. Oh, my interconnection is unstable. All right, everybody, really well done. Holly, is that a figure up because you want what? Oh,
I'm just holding up a baby.
Good job.
Thanks.
Micah, you're not in front of your refrigerator.
No, I'm
Fridge.
The fridge.
Allie, we're all laughing because Mike filmed work in front of his refrigerator. Hi, Jim.
Hi, guys.
Jim.
Hey.
Bandana.
Hey, Jim.
He is, and hey, Lucia, you Jim. That's it. Hi, Abigail. Hi. Oh, it's wonderful to see all these faces. So I was going to say, Jim, did you guys see all the work that Jim did?
Yes.
All that
Yes.
editing?
You guys were amazing.
Yay, give a round of applause. And for the first time, all of you all saw the animation that was created by Holly. So please thank Holly. She's over here.
Nice.
Thank you, Holly.
Great.
That's awesome.
I don't see Joe there's Joe. Joe, nice work in the cave there, babe. He did some nice belching for us as well, in case you guys didn't catch that. So what did you think?
Well, Kathy, let's give a little bit more time for the rest of the attendees to get on. We're only got 3 attendees on right now, so I want to give just a minute
Okay.
to get all on. I mean, we can chat about it, but I don't want to do any real in-depth talking, so that way we don't have to repeat.
All right,
ourselves.
I'm going to plug in. I'm about to lose electricity here.
Uh-oh.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Is this the first time you guys are all together like this, or have you done this before?
Yeah, we've had rehearsals.
Done this like every week.
Oh.
This is my first production ever.
Congrats.
He's
Michael,
not
what happened to
kidding.
your chin?
He's not kidding. This is the first production he's ever done.
Really?
Yep.
Great
Oh,
job.
Wait,
I mean,
Micah.
like, I did productions like as a kid for, like
Wait, Micah.
Purim, but
Micah.
Comedy of errors.
Yeah.
yeah, that was an end of class project though.
Micah.
Still
Yes.
What grade are you in?
11th, I believe.
Are you doing Mr. Burns?
I might be. I haven't decided yet.
Dude,
We'll
do it.
decide before Sunday.
Do it. I still haven't done my audition and I really need to.
Yes.
Everyone who can should do the summer shows, just saying.
Oh yeah.
All the directors are beautiful and amazing and talented, and they are just really good mentors, etc.
Wait, I miss you saying I was beautiful and talented.
Okay, let me just say, when I dropped off my costume today, I was not surprised when I saw how your house was decorated. I was like,
what?
Yeah,
Yeah, so just FYI to the rest of you who haven't turned in your costumes yet. Come meet my dogs.
Aw,
Come drop off your costumes.
your dogs.
My dogs.
I'm gonna meet your dogs. I don't have a costume to drop off.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're here, they're wandering around.
I've heard them in many a Zoom meeting, but never.
Yes, they're very vocal. They're little yappy dogs.
Aw.
Not as fun to work with as actors, but almost.
So we should have 17 people attending for the talkback, and we have 3 right now. So let's see.
Well, I did my best to mess it up.
No, you didn't.
My sister just texted me from Atlanta. She
Uh-huh.
said bravo to everyone.
Aw.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And she doesn't like theater, so it was really nice.
That's a great compliment then.
I know. You guys should be thrilled. You're better than the Braves. Usually the only game she likes is watching baseball.
I resent the confirmation email, so hopefully we should have some more people coming on here
Okay.
shortly. Also, once we like get started for real, I am probably gonna put it in spotlight mode or speaker view, just so that way attendees, because there's a lot of us, so that way attendees can keep up with who's talking. Normally I don't like to do that, but since there's so many of us, it might get a little crowded trying to keep up with it. We're up to 5 attendees. Look at that.
All right. And okay, so one thing before we get more, so we thanked not nearly enough Jim for all the work he did, but I also want to thank Sally, who pulled all this together and put up with my craziness, because as good as I am at Zoom, I am that bad at following information about how to get people linked up to different links.
No, we got
Sally set me
figure it out.
straight. She did great.
Thanks.
I think what a lot of people, what you guys don't realize is how much goes on behind the work that you do. And I think for you, this format of taking this and putting it on screen allowed you to see beyond those scenes, those bits and pieces that you all did, and allowed you to see the editing that Jim had to do to make you look like you were talking to each other. So one of the things, Sally, I would like to point out to anybody who's listening,
Sure.
none of these people were in the same room. Some of you not even in the same state. Wave, Lucia, from Texas. None of them were in the same room with each other during the entire production or in the same backyard. So one of the interesting things they had to deal with was trying to react to people they could not see. Things happening that they had no clue because Jim and I hadn't put them in yet.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to say.
Well, it is 5 after, so we can just go ahead and get started. And then as people join in, they join in. So if we could just, I'm going to add speaker view. If we could just go ahead and go kind of down the list and say who you are, what role you played, and / if you did anything else on the production other than being in it. My name is Sally Best. I did not do much. Don't let Kathy flatter me. I really didn't do much. I'm here because I'm the moderator and I set this up and I'm going to be asking the questions because I can't answer them. So, that being said, sorry, I just got an email from Jay's mom. Oh, Jay, where's your mom?
She's over in the living room.
Cool. Well, she doesn't know if she's in the right one. She's not. The answer is she's not.
Okay.
So you need to tell her, Jay.
Jay, can you go tell her so I don't have to go
He's
email her
gone.
back? Thank you. Like that would be great if I didn't have to email her back right now. What was I gonna say? My name's Sally Best. I'm just moderating this. That's kind of all that I'm doing. But I'm also the director of education at Columbia Children's Theater, and that's kind of it. Kathy, do you want to go next? We can go that way.
Oh, all right. I'm Kathy Brookshire, directed this. I've only recently joined the team at the Columbia Children's Theater more or less full time. I've been working with them though for a while, mainly teaching Shakespeare and directing Shakespearean productions for them. And I've directed for many, many, many years. This is the first time I've ever directed something like this. So it was quite exciting and a steep learning curve. So that's me.
That sounds about right. Jim, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, there we go. Sure. I'm Jim Litzinger, and I'm the technical director at Columbia Children's Theater. And I was fortunate enough to be able to come in and help edit everything together because I don't have any sets to build right now. And I had a blast learning how to edit video with you guys.
Great. Thanks so
I'd
much.
like to point out it took him 3 hours to do the sirens.
The sirens took a while. There were a lot of little pieces to those. Yes, that was great. And you guys all did very well at putting everything together and labeling it the way we talked about at the beginning. It made my job so much easier. I think I ended up with around 400 individual audio and video files for the whole thing. So
Wow.
Thank you guys for making my job easier.
That's crazy. I'm gonna go down the list that I have in the panelist column now because the images are all jumping around because I wanted to go down the cast list, but I don't know that off the top of my head. So Addie, can you go next? Because you're next on the list.
Okay. Hi, I'm Addie Brown, and I played Nausicaa.
Great. How long we'll add one more question. How long have you been around CCT?
It will be 6 years this summer.
Wow.
Great. Landon, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, hello, I am Landon Watts. I played Poseidon in Melantho, and I've only done CCT for about 2.5 years now.
Great. Abigail Greer.
Hi, I'm Abigail Greer, and I played Ino and the Shepherdess, and I was on the tech team.
Nice. Danielle.
Hello. My name is Danielle. I played Penelope and Calypso in the Odyssey. I was also a siren, and I voiced a sailor. And I have been doing CCT for 1 year, and I am a senior, so it is my last year.
Oh, we're so sad to see you go. Where are you going?
Very sad.
Winthrop.
Hey!
All right.
Look at that. That's awesome. Franklin.
Wait, Danielle has to tell you what she is president of.
Danielle, what are you president of?
International Thespian Society chapter at my school.
Yeah, girl.
Yes, yay, thespians.
That's right. There you go. Love that. Who's next? Franklin.
Hello, I'm Franklin Cottle. I played Zeus in Eurymachus, and I've been with CCT for almost 5.5 years now, probably closer to 6.
Nice.
He is the reason we had those beautiful titles that you saw. He created those where we had all our names.
Oh, that's great.
He did that, guys.
Okay. And next we have, sorry, y'all. Trying to also have the YouTube chat up at the same time because some people have been posting there, which is totally fine. Just want to be able to see it. Great, there it is. Okay. We just did Holly. Why don't you go?
Okay. So I'm Holly. I played Circe, a siren, and the Muse, and I also did animation. And I've been with CCT since December. My first show was The Secret Garden.
Nice. Awesome. That was a good one. Jay.
So yeah, my name's Jay. I played Telemachus and I voiced Sailor. And I think it's like 1 or 2 years I've been at CCT and my first show was Lion King.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun. That was a fun one.
Yeah, it was fun.
Cool. Let's do. Trying to keep up with where it's going because it's also bouncing around once you guys talk. Joseph. Is it Joe? Joseph?
I'm Joe. I voiced the Cyclops, Polyphemus. I voiced a sailor and a suitor. And I've been with CCT for a whole 2 months since the beginning of this.
Aw. How'd you guys find out about it? Or you're Holly's brother. Is that why? Got it.
That's how I found out.
Very cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you around. Did this give you the bug? Do you think you're going to stick around and do some more stuff with us now?
Yes.
Yeah? Great. That's what we love to hear. Cool.
I also did sound effects for the show.
Oh, awesome. They were great. Landon already went. Lucia.
Hi. So I'm Lucia, and I played a siren and voiced a sailor. And this is my first time doing anything with CCT.
How did you find out about us now that I'm hearing that you live in Texas?
Abby Greer recommended it.
Aw, that's so fun. I don't know if people will find this surprising or not, but we actually have had several people that like typically wouldn't be able to do something with us because they don't live in Columbia that have been able to do different online stuff that we've been doing because it's online, which is just, I don't know. I find that super cool. So that's awesome. Glad you were able to join.
Great experience.
Good. Let's see. Where am I at? Steven.
So my name is Stephen O'Connor. I'm Aeolus, I think that's how you say it. And I've been with CCT since 2nd grade, and I'm in 7th grade now. So 5.5 years.
Crazy. Has it really been that long?
Been a long time, yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I think I had like a break because I didn't like dancing.
Oh yeah, you were playing soccer for a while.
Yeah. Something was going on, but yeah.
Well, now you're back. Can we have sorry, really just trying to keep up with where this is going. Joe, Landon, Webb.
Hi, I'm Webb Hodges, and then I played Hermes, Alcinous, and then a sailor and a suitor, and this is my first production with CCT.
But you've done other stuff around Columbia, right?
Yes, I've been stuff at workshop, and then town theater, and then at my school as well.
Nice, awesome. Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you around.
Webb, I have a message from you from California.
Oh.
Yes, we had a viewer out there, former student of mine who works out there, and she wanted to let you know she really enjoyed your scene. She thought it was really great, and just wanted you to know.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alex, why don't you go ahead?
My name is Alex Cohen. I played Homer, Amphinomus, one of the Cyclopses, and one of the sailors. I've been doing stuff with CCT for around 6 years at this point.
Yeah, that's awesome. And his mom is one of our phenomenal scenic artists, and we're so very sad that we're not doing things in person, so she hasn't been able to make some stuff, but she's a phenomenal artist. Shout out to Dawn Cone. She's watching somewhere right now.
On the other hand, all of the movement and the setup, I think, Alex, that was your idea, was where you ended up as Homer.
I believe so.
Nice, that's awesome. Finn.
Oh, sound on. Nope.
Here, I'll go get him.
I was like, why aren't you guys on the same screen?
Yes, it wouldn't be an online Zoom meeting without some sort of technical error.
Of course.
Well, while he's going to get Finn, Ladson, why don't you go ahead?
Hi, I'm Ladson Porter. I was a suitor, a sailor, and a cyclops. And I've done, yeah. And I've done stuff with the CCT for 3 months now.
Oh, nice. This was your first production too?
Yes.
How'd you hear about us?
My mom saw there was a listing for the stage fighting class. She said, "Hey, that looks pretty cool. You should try it out." And I said, "Yeah, sure." And yeah.
He was doing great. It was really, we were just at the point where people were really going to be able to do good stuff, and then COVID-19 hit. But you know, if we do rapiers, really, we were just at the point where people were really going to be able to do good stuff, and then COVID-19 hit. But you know, if we do rapiers, really, we were just at the point.
Mute yourself.
Sorry?
I'm talking to Jay because we're hearing the echo on his.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. And Finn, is Finn ready? Finn, can you go now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I am Finn O'Connor, and I've been with CCT since like second-ish grade. I'm not sure. And I did not take a break in the middle of it. And I played a sailor and a suitor and Eurylochus.
Nice. And last but certainly not least, our Odysseus, Micah Tolbert.
Hey, I'm Micah. I was Odysseus. There we go.
And this
That's all
was
you need
your
to know.
first production.
Yes, it was my first production ever. I've been at CCT for like, well, I did some stuff when I was like 11 to 12. I took some classes, did some showcases, and then stopped. And then last year, I took Miss Brookshire's Shakespeare class on Much Ado About Nothing. And I couldn't get enough. So then I took the next class, which was advanced acting. She recommended that to me. And we did Comedy of Errors. And then the audition post for this, I saw she was directing, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So
That's awesome. Well, great. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the chat now. Everyone should be able to post in the chat now. You can do it on YouTube or in the Zoom. And we're just gonna open up some questions for the cast. You can ask any and all questions about the process, about what their favorite color is. I don't care. Just a question, really. Any question. Right. Maybe people are typing. That's a good thing to think about.
well, while we're waiting, I just want to say thank you again to everyone at CCT, and specifically Jim, because I'm filming these scenes, and I'm thinking, how is this going to work? And I told Miss Brookshire, I said, Jim is a wizard. He just is. I mean, in a month too. I mean, we had a month to put this together. And this is a very long production.
He actually had a week.
Yeah, no, sorry, we had a month's notice.
Yeah.
He did this in like a week or a week and a half.
All right, we got our first question from Eliza Brown, Addie Brown's little sister. What was the hardest part for the actors during this process?
Recording.
Yeah. Did you have someone else record for you, or did you have to record yourself?
Yeah, I have my mom recording.
I recorded myself, so that was kind of difficult. Also,
Yeah.
not having someone to exchange lines with.
Yeah. How did you
So-
find yourself able to like act while not having someone to interact with?
I took a lot of takes. Like, just tried it a lot until it sounded right.
With me, I like to like obviously read the script because that's how life works. But I like to, like read the lines that aren't mine and feel like, okay, how would I feel if someone said this to me, and then how would my character feel if someone said this to me, and then I keep in mind those feelings to have while I take my breaks through my lines. So like in the last scene when Penelope and Odysseus are having this like really intimate moment, I'm like, she's happy in this moment, and in my breaks I need to look that.
Nice. Anyone else?
I say personally, the whole C virus thing really messed this entire thing up. Because originally we were just going to do a normal play. It was going to be a Shakespearean play, and it sounds good by itself. But then all of a sudden lockdown happens, and we can't really do it. So personally, the hardest part for me was recording things, because you don't know how to react. I mean, the person's not sitting right in front of you. You can't really like react on facial cues and stuff because there aren't any. There's just the camera. So.
Nice. Yeah, so suddenly I think, for me at least, watching them trying to deal with that adds a whole new level to my understanding of watching actors on film. Who that's how they do it. They very seldom actually have somebody opposite them working with them. Many of those scenes are done, like Danielle and Micah in particular, had scenes where they were reacting with each other, and also Addie and Micah had scenes where they had to act like they were listening to each other. In fact, several people did. Finn, I think that was for you, in the woods, he had to act like he was hearing somebody who wasn't there at all. It's a real interesting technique to learn how to do, and I thought you guys did well. Holly had that too. She kept having to listen and dance away and hear things that it was like, are there voices in your head now, guys? From all these different people.
They keep me company. It's a good thing.
And at one point we had 3 people trying to converse with each other, Danielle and Micah and Jay were sort of having to work around each other, and never ever in the same location. Even in rehearsal, we had very little time where they could just listen to each other, but they were good about it. So
Awesome.
there you go.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Micah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No, I would just like to say, yeah. As an actor in these classes, Shakespeare and the advanced acting, working with people was always what we do. We do scenes with people, and then we get broken up. And especially playing someone like Odysseus, it's an emotional role. But Danielle, you did a great job as Penelope. But for me, it's hard to like, okay, I haven't seen her in 20 years. I haven't seen Telemachus in 20 years. But, Jay is just a little younger than me. It's like, how do I do this? And imagining them talking, it's hard, especially at 5 a.m. in front of a fridge.
Thank you, by the way.
Famous fridge scene.
Yeah,
Yes.
he did look exhausted with
Yeah, that fridge is so famous. That fridge is gonna go down in history, I'll tell you.
Yeah, there are so many times.
If CCT ever opens up a Hall of Fame,
I want that fridge in the Hall of Fame.
So I'll go over there and just yank out the fridge, put it in the U-Haul.
The Hall of Fame is just the fridge.
It's just the fridge. Nothing else.
The centerpiece.
Nothing else there.
In Hall of Fame as well, though. Like,
Hey, with his fridge, you could put sushi in there.
Woo. People are breaking up a little bit. Maybe it was just me.
All right. This question kind of got answered already, but if anyone has anything to add to it, did you all find it? This comes from Jan Queen. Did you all find it difficult to video scenes without fellow castmates?
Yes, it was so hard.
Yeah, it was something I had to get used to.
They did a lot of rehearsal. Jake did a lot of rehearsing with reaction. So we about halfway through the filming, we all realized we needed to put in reaction shots.
Yeah.
I was
And,
on mute for 30 minutes. My knees started hurting. Like really.
and that's a very interesting, that's a totally different type of acting experience to do reaction shots where you're being told this person is standing over here, look there, don't look anyplace else.
It was confusing. I'd never done it before.
Danielle in particular had an issue. We wanted her on the stairs. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about that? Because that must have been.
Yeah, because the thing about my stairs is that it's very narrow and there's a railing on one side, and Kathy was like, I don't want that railing in there. So I was like, great. And when I was filming on the stairs, I had a music stand. It's not up, but I had a music stand, and it was tall, and that's what I used, and I had to keep angling it like it was almost like it was peeking around the corner at that point.
You don't even have to in my house. I had to get like,
yeah, and I had to
my ceiling.
The floor was very good scene partner, let me tell you.
I got handed to my ceiling though. My ceiling did a really good job.
Yeah, in my house there are barely like any blank walls. So
oh my gosh, that was such a struggle.
No, yeah.
Everything's blank in my house.
Guys, you're never going to see your houses the same again. Although Landon did a really cool thing vocally, and it was kind of, was it accidental or how did we get there?
You mean the echo for Poseidon?
Yeah.
We were rehearsing Poseidon, and I was in this room, and you told me, hey, stay in that room and record your stuff because it sounds like big and God-y. And so I did that, and I was listening over them before I sent them in. And like I was in here when I was listening to them, and you could just hear it all throughout the house. And my mom was taking a nap, and she woke up.
I thought it worked really, really well. I really liked it.
About
Anybody else?
No, it's fine. You can go ahead. I was just okay about the blank walls. Miss Brookshire she's talking to me and Danielle, I believe. This is because we rehearsed before me and Jay.
Yeah.
I believe. Okay. And she's like, find just a blank white wall. And I'm like, that's easy. But it's not easy because I don't have any blank white walls. So I have a fridge with about this much space with no stickers on it or magnets. And I'm like, I have to do it. I have to. So I hold that camera really close. No one filmed me. Every single thing was filmed by me.
Wow.
And I'm holding it close. And she sends me an email after I sent it to her. And she says, good choice with the camera angle. And I'm like, I'll wait to tell her. I'll wait to tell her until we rehearse again that was at 5 a.m. in front of a fridge.
He looked exhausted. It was fabulous.
I did so many takes. I get through the whole thing, and then at the end, I do something wrong, and I was like, oh no.
I got to redo it.
That's it. Because this text is important. It's taken right from Homer's The Odyssey. So I wanted to make sure.
Quite a bit of it.
There's no improvisation. There's no changing the dialogue because she put a lot of work into this. So.
Holly, who is outside and dancing around. First of all, how did you do that barefoot? And she was not the only one because I think was Webb. Were you barefoot too, or you were wearing sandals?
I had some flip flops on.
Okay, but Holly was barefoot. How did that work?
I wasn't barefoot. I had on like very thin sandals that I've had since like 6th
grade.
Oh my God.
Filming it was interesting because I didn't really have a lot I could prop my phone up for filming this. And so there's this wood pile in my backyard where we just put a bunch of sticks when it's time to mow the yard. And I set my Chromebook on my wood pile and I set my phone there, and I had to constantly back up and back towards my phone in order to turn it on and off, because for that particular scene, I didn't have anyone filming.
And she had a lot of movement. I think of all the actors, I think you had the most movement. Everybody else was pretty still. But Holly, she had to be everywhere and handing people things.
Yep.
And acting like she was turning them all into pigs. Oh, how did you guys like your pig thing?
I thought it turned out really well.
That was all Jim.
I'm just gonna be true with y'all. I'm glad I didn't have to do that in person.
I feel like during the pig rehearsal, we all kind of bonded with each other, and we have a connection now.
Yeah.
There were a lot of strange noises being made.
That's my life.
So what's interesting, what Micah had to say about you're not working with people in the same way that you are when you're live on stage, but we had several instances where they were pretty intimate with maybe two people working together on Zoom with me, and then we had the pigs all together working together and watching each other, and the sirens, which that was really different. I'm going to ask the sirens to talk about their work in a minute, but there was choreography that went on with this. I wanted a very specific look, and it was almost that moment when we were doing the pigs, it was almost like we're all together because they were with me. It wasn't, I couldn't reach out and hit them, which would have been, unfortunate, but I didn't need to, and they did a wonderful job. So I want sirens to talk about their work because you guys were really different. Anna's not here with us, and we're missing two of the actors, Anna and her brother Jack. Are those the only two that didn't make this? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
the
talk
numbers
sirens.
add up to just the two of them missing, so that sounds right.
Yeah. Come on, sirens, talk about that work. What did you think it was going to turn out like that?
I had like a bit of an idea, like as you said, it was going to be very similar to what you see in Zoom, and I think it turned out really good. Like it was very cohesive, and I was surprised because the backgrounds that we all had were very similar.
Love the birds too. Who had the birds going off in the middle?
That was me.
I had some.
I had some birds too. I was worried about that.
I had some dogs going on in the background too, because my neighbor's dogs would not shut off when I was filming.
I was
Jim,
worried about that.
Jim needs to talk about those dogs.
Oh no.
I was able to get some of the dogs out as long as you weren't talking at the same time. But that's the nature of the beast, And it added atmosphere. Maybe the dogs are intentional. That's just what we can say.
Maybe the dogs wanted to act like us,
The dogs are the men.
Oh, there you go. I did want to add something kind of on the vein of that. When Kathy and I first kind of started talking about walking through this project and everything, and she was like, I'm going to have the kids each film themselves on their own cameras, and they're going to go outside, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. And they're going to be walking and carrying it and all this other stuff. And then she called her friend where does he live, Kathy?
I have a filmographer friend in New York City.
So she calls her filmographer friend in New York City, and he's like, don't go outside because outside is terrible.
He yelled at me over the phone. Are you out of your mind? What are you, insane? No.
And he was like, do you have a boom mic? Do you have this? Do you have that? And so then the next day, Jim and I had a Zoom meeting with Kathy, and she was like, guys, I don't know how this is going to work. I talked to my film friend, and he's got all of these concerns. And we're like, okay, Kathy, like this is theater adapted for the screen. This is not a film. It will be great. And I think it turned out awesome. So that is funny that kind of came out, the noises of outside.
Yeah, guys, so here's the truth. You will have friends throughout your life who know way more than you do about some aspect of art, of the art that you are attempting to make. You're going to run into them over and over again. Some of them will be your good friends. Some of them will really want to put you down. It doesn't matter. If you have a vision, go ahead and try and achieve it. And I did. I mean, I was lucky. I had Jim and I had Sally scraping me off the ceiling and saying, no, it's going to be fine. And I pulled myself back together, because even after doing this for years and years, because we are artists, because we are people who really tend to think out of the box, it's very easy for us to get derailed, to be concerned about the product. Okay? And you have to continually pull yourself back and say, sometimes it's a lot more about the process, about what we're trying to do here, how much we enjoy it, what we learn from it, as opposed to how perfect it is. Is the sound perfect? Does everybody have the same background exactly? Is everybody looking in the right direction? That would be awesome and fabulous. And yes, maybe someday you'll be working on a film where that happens. But even there, you're going to have people saying to you things that are going to make you feel worried and concerned about your vision. Don't let that happen. Just let it go. It's your vision. It will work. And it did. It did. Absolutely. It did. You guys were outside. It was like, I loved it.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So our next question, also just for sake of time, the amount of time that we have for this is about an hour, and we're about 35 minutes into it, just so you guys know. So we'll all wrap up. So we've got a couple more questions. I'm going to ask those and give plenty of time for them. But we will probably wrap up and do like closing statements and things like that about not 9. That is silly. 8:45-ish. Yeah. So our next question comes from Finn and Steven's little brother, Liam, and he wants to know how it would have been different if it were on stage.
Well, I would have had to remember lines way more than I already had.
Actually, I think it would be a lot easier if it was on stage.
Definitely.
You could be there and you could see the other people around you, and so you could know how to better react. Where even though like some people did a phenomenal job about reacting, even though like nobody else is there, on stage it's that much more better when you're actually like there with the actual person.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I agree. Like it would be easier in that sense, but it's also like I took a lot of takes like for each scene because I was able to do that, and I think it would have been like, you'd have to practice a lot more for being on stage.
When I was what was I gonna say? Okay, so with film, it feels like, at least when we did it this way, it felt kind of like my hands were tied a little bit, because it's like you have all these instincts and also choices that you want to make, but you can't because it's literally limited to like this much of you.
Yeah.
But like on stage, it's like I can hug people, I can shake hands, I can make a huge spectacle of myself if I want to, and so it's a very different mindset that you have to like switch gears. It was kind of hard for me to do that because I'm used to being able to make those big choices.
Yeah, did anyone have because I mean, you kind of spoke to this a little bit, Danielle, with like having such a smaller box to work in. And so that also means like that the camera is so much closer to your face. So if you're used to like projecting really far or making really big facial movements or
Ollie,
really
you should talk about that.
Okay, I was gonna say, is there anyone that had that as an issue?
Yeah.
Say it again. I don't think Holly heard it. Go ahead.
Holly, did you have issues with like trying to adapt for film versus being on stage where you like project really loudly, have big physical emotions, things like that?
Yeah, so one of the things that, like, while we were rehearsing that one pig part where the one's not working, the magic's not working on Odysseus, and he's not turning into a pig, while we were rehearsing, several times I ended up accidentally blowing out the mic because I ended up yelling the last pig too loud and it blew out the mic. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. But also, like, snaps for you, girl. If this were on stage, your deaf Aunt Sally in the back row could be able to hear you, and that's what we train you to do. So that's great.
It was hard for me because they're like, stop moving your face so much, Jay. Just slides movement. Like, it's hard. Slides movement, Jay. Okay.
Yeah, that is difficult to kind of be trapped in that space. But you guys did a great job with it.
I'm already super loud, and for a lot of my scenes where I wasn't a god, I had to go into a closet, and I basically had to whisper because I'm always so loud. And every other room either had another person in it or it would echo.
Yeah, we did a lot of talking to people about maybe going into the closet to record.
That's so funny to think of that being like as a helpful place to record. But I'm thinking about like, you know, a lot of recording studios and stuff, and they're like about the size of a closet. So I guess that kind of lines up. So I'm going to move on to the next question because it's 8:40 and we got 2 questions left. This one is from Rachel Brown. What was challenging about recording the voiceovers?
So I'll talk about this one. So one thing is you don't want it to be too close because then it will blow out mics. And then also you have to leave lots like spaces in between the lines so Mr. Jim has enough space where he can edit the other people in. And it just, you always had to keep several things in mind while you read the lines.
Yeah, it was hard for me since, like, if you know me personally, I'm a loud person. I'm way too loud.
Amen.
So I had to keep my voice low, and that was hard for me because I'm a loud person.
I just want to say in the theater, we like loud people. Yes.
Did anyone that did voiceovers, did you have trouble with like, and again, this kind of goes back to the theater-y aspect of it and typically doing stuff on stage, but, you know, using emotions to kind of do certain physical motions, whether it's with your face or something like that, and feeling like you weren't able to convey the same emotion since all you would hear is your voice and not see your face?
Yes.
I still ended up doing
I had a big problem with that.
I had a problem with that even when I was doing recordings. So
yeah.
I talk with my hands, and they didn't work.
That is weird to know that you're recording it and it's like, oh, all they're gonna hear is my voice and not see my hands talking.
Yeah, because
not me moving and doing facial expressions. They're just gonna hear my voice.
And at one point, Jay, we were telling Jay to do things like, Jay, look to the left. No, too far. Jay, only look to the left a little.
I'm just used to having to over exaggerate stuff on stage. It was so hard to just do the littlest things.
Yeah. Micah, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna piggyback on all of their comments. Yeah, you're reading from a script because I don't want to have to memorize it all. So when you memorize it, obviously you don't have to focus on just you say it. You can try and act it better. But when I was voice recording, I wouldn't memorize it because I'm lazy. And so I'd be reading from the script and have this really good mic, and so I'd record it. And then I'd see like the voice, the audio, it just keep going into the red, and I'm like, I gotta redo it. That's way too loud. But I like to think it was okay, but it's hard just reading lines and then trying to do emotion.
Yeah. I do want to throw it to Mr. Jim because him and I talked about this a little bit, but
One more.
specifically with the voiceovers, and as Micah's talking about using a really good mic and getting to the red part and trying to make sure he's at the right level and not peaking and all that kind of stuff. How was that, Mr. Jim?
As far as I'm concerned, I thought everybody did a great job. We had like maybe one, I think there was one instance, and it was with Micah maybe, that he had a couple of P's or some plosives that it actually hit, and there was nothing I could do to bring that down because it was like part of the recording. But as far as everybody else, I thought they did great. The big challenge is that everybody had different mics. Some people had different background noises and things like that, and I was able in my software to work out as much as I can without sacrificing the quality of the voices. But you know, overall, it did great. What I'm most impressed with, and this is what I'm guessing too, is that you guys all had rehearsals with Kathy for both the voiceovers and the video that you did, but then you actually had to produce them without the benefit of the director being in the room with you.
Yeah.
And that to me is just unbelievable what you guys pulled off, being able to do that.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to say too, kind of like on the topic of all of this with, you know, being different than being in theater and in live. I think what was unique about this, different from film, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but so with film, yes, you get to take a bunch of takes, but your other actors are there. Someone's filming it for you. Someone's doing the sound for you. So you don't have to think about all those things. And on top of it, your director is actually there to help you with things. Whereas this, you got some direction from Kathy, but on some level, like had to do some of that on your own, kind of in the space. How was that?
Nerve-wracking.
It was like
I'm always worrying. Like whenever I was recording, I always had Miss Kathy there. Like, okay, am I doing this right? Because I was so scared I'm gonna mess it up.
Jay was actually one of the few that while he filmed, his mom helped him, and they had you had two recording devices going. So I was on one watching while she held me, and the other one, did she have the other one on a stationary?
Yeah, and also I'd like to say props to my mom because like if I didn't know a line, she'd take the computer, hold it like this, and record. I was like,
it was incredible. It takes a lot.
It takes a lot of effort. So props to my mom.
For those of you who just had, you know, your cell phone on a music stand, it's really different. I hope you get the experience of working with a real film company. I kept in my head thinking, no, we need camera 3 over there and camera 2 over here because I've done some film work. But this was exciting in so many ways because I think of the world that we live in today, this is what we have. Why should we not use it to the best of our abilities? And I guarantee you there are people out there, by the way, coping with the whole latency problem. Otherwise we'd have more singing. We'd have had a lot more singing.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh yes. I can. But the sirens did it. I just told them hit a note. Who did the note? I know Danielle, you did it. Was it Abby? Was it you singing?
No, it was Addie.
It was Addie. Okay, Addie, where are you?
Hi.
Oh, there she is. So they rehearsed that sound together and then had to recreate it completely apart from each other.
Oh,
and
wow.
Danielle, did I send you Addie? She recorded first? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Addie recorded first, and I went, Danielle, here, listen to this. And Danielle just went, oh yeah, and went right in under it.
Awesome.
It sounded beautiful. It was great.
That's great. It also just like kind of side promo. Our friends that are a part of Indigo Soul, we're doing a concert from partnered with Richland Library at 7 today. So unfortunately we were both going at the same time, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be available even after it was over. So go check it out. But that was something they had to do, is they had to film themselves singing. So they're a 3-part group and they had to film themselves singing individually and then edit it together, which also is just wild to me that it's like, you have to be singing. I mean, cause they do a lot of harmonies and things like that. But I heard a small part of it and it was really good. So it's very cool. Okay. It is 8:50, but I do want to ask this last question I have because I think that it's pretty apropos to everything that we're talking about. Do you think this is something that you would want to try again?
Yes.
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 Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we might end up being forced to do it anyway because I can tell you right now, none of us are going to stop acting no matter what happens. I'm never going to stop acting. I'll see what happens, what goes on, aliens come through. I'll do this
Honestly,
again.
Oh, wait, I couldn't hear any of that. So what did he say?
I basically said I'd act no matter what, even if aliens came down, I'd still be acting.
honestly, this is the way I'm kind of feeling about it. So like it was fun. I liked it, and I'm really glad I got to be a part of such a huge and really beautiful production. And it was really good for all the resources we have. The thing is, it's not something I'm used to, and it was I have a lot of anxiety with like I need to do everything right. I need to do everything right, you know? And like just being the sole person who was in charge of the recording, I'm like, this is gonna be bad. So every single time I emailed Kathy, like, here's my recording, I would say, let me know if I need to redo it. Because I was ready to redo it because I was not confident in myself at all. But like being in person and having a physical person there is obviously preferable. You know, but
yeah,
you know, for the resources we had, it was definitely really fun.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this kind of like leads into my last like little wrap up question. Oh, I also want to tell you guys some of the things people have said that were not questions, and just kind of comments. Eliza said, great job, guys. Jan said, fantastic, everyone. Julian said, congrats on a fabulous production. Rachel Brown said, after Kathy gave her long, wonderful moment about, you know, not letting people discourage you, she said, amen, Kathy. Mr. Jerry said, don't forget to return your costumes and hangers. Very important. Don't forget your hangers. But all that being said, does anyone have any kind of like final thoughts? I would like someone that I haven't heard from much. I would love to hear from Alex Cohn, kind of just some final thoughts about how he felt about it being Homer and kind of the like, I don't know how else to say it. You get what I'm saying.
Storyteller.
Speech, Alex. Speech.
I usually really like to play storyteller-esque characters and all of that kind of thing. This was very interesting in having to set up, especially in filming and finding a place that would capture everything evenly, getting enough lighting, also working with lighting, and especially because of like the candle and all of that motif, I had to film everything at night. So setting restrictions and limitations on when you can film adds a lot to the complexity of it.
Yeah. It was really cool though. I mean, that effect was really awesome.
Great.
That was one of my favorite things. Kathy, any closing statements for us to send your cast on their way into
I have really enjoyed working with you guys, and for everybody except Danielle, because she's just old, so I don't want to work with you anymore. No, she's heading off. She's going to have a wonderful time at college. I would love to work with all of you all again, and I'm so proud to be a part of the Columbia Children's Theater. I think they do extraordinary work, and you guys are the proof of it. You know, even if you've only done it for a few months, they really help you understand what being an artist means. And I think that happened here. Every single one of you. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks so much, you guys. I'm sure Mr. Jerry is probably crying in his office watching it right now.
Mr. Jerry is saying, return your costumes to Kathy's house.
Yeah.
Just pointing out, Lucia managed to turn hers in from Texas.
Right.
Faster than some of you, Micah.
Ooh, she called you out. Dang.
I
Call
had to
everybody out.
embody
There's no mercy. Call them out.
playing Odysseus. I had to be like him. You have to wait 20 years before you do something. True. It's mine now.
Not gonna let that happen.
Better not.
20 years later, when he's an adult, finally returns the costume.
But who will remember?
No. Miss Brookshire. Who are you? What costume?
You mean when he shows up 20 years
What's
from
up?
now?
I don't know who you are.
You don't know who you are?
Miss
He
Kathy
moved
might
to
have to kick
bed.
out of her house instead of me kicking her out. That's not gonna feel good. My dad won't back me this time.
So you guys were awesome. You were excellent. Thank you so much, every single one of you. And I really do look forward to the possibility of working with you again.
Yeah,
Maybe
and I just kind of want to say some ending things before we wrap up too. You guys again, to echo everyone, you did an awesome job. It is clear that no matter what people say, when they say we only do musicals, we still focus on the acting. And I think this is proof of it, that you guys still have some acting chops that you can do. We don't need music. Everyone tell Paul that I said that. We don't need music.
You don't need it.
Don't need it. And we like it, but we don't need it.
I might be watching this right now. That might not be a smart.
This is music. Need it, don't need it.
Yeah, you guys did an awesome job. Thanks for being brave enough to do this. Also, just wanted to say an extra thing that Kathy and I originally set the cutoff on this show for 15 people. And if you can't, well, I guess right now it is 15 because Anna and Jack are both on here.
There were 17.
But we have 17. Kathy and I were both like, oh, we'll put it at 15, but we'll probably get 10 or something like that.
We're really lucky.
We've got Lucia and Danny who are like, I'm sorry that I missed it. If there's any way, I'll be on the wait list if someone drops out or whatever. And we were like, well, we'll just throw them in there. So you guys really tackled this and did an awesome job. To everyone watching, and also you guys, we've still got some other stuff going on this summer, even despite everything that's going on. We've got summer camps that are going on. They're super fun. Franklin is signed up for our Commedia camp next week. Join for our Commedia camp. He's going to have a great time with Julian. Julian's also doing a playwriting camp. So if you're interested in playwriting, check that out. That word is, we're trying to spread it around as fast as possible. About Wednesday this week, we decided to change the movement for actors class to a playwriting class because that made much more sense. Virtual setting. We've also got our Acting Up in Fantasy Fun Camp that we have every year. Is going to be next week. Week after next, there's a Puppets with Paul camp. I think all of you guys are too old to take it. I'm very sorry.
Harley's taking it.
Lame.
Okay. And we've also got our summer shows that we're going to be doing.
Non-musicals. Non-musicals.
Musicals are dead.
Women. Paul is doing Mr. Burns, a post-apocalyptic play, which if you look into it,
it is amazing.
It is amazing, but it is a play with music. And Paul got around he found a loophole in it. And I'm still a little salty with him. Larry Hembry is going to be directing an original play by Randall David Cook, who's a local playwright, called The Glass Dog. Julian DeLeon is also going to be directing an original play by our very own Mr. Jerry Stevenson. He's going to be doing Alice in Wonderland, an adaptation that Mr. Jerry wrote. Both of those are going to be really awesome and going to be at the end, no, not the end, the beginning of August. We've also got our nightly bedtime stories. Every Tuesday, we've got our sing-alongs. We just got a ton of stuff that we're doing, y'all, and it's fun time. Check them out. Thanks to everyone. You guys all did super, super awesome. Also, extra shout out to anyone who, on top of doing this, was also in camp and had a showcase today, aka Brown, A+. You did awesome trying to do all this stuff at the same time. I can't imagine. So thank you guys. Thanks
Sally, our great moderator. Everyone, thanks Sally for being our great moderator. Yay!
Thanks. Yeah, thanks so much everyone that tuned in and watched. I mean, I know we had 3 in the participants, but we also had 9 watching on YouTube. So, a little over 10 people watching and asking us questions. So we had 50 people watching the actual production on YouTube, so that's pretty cool. That's like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
It kind of fluctuated between 55 and 45 the entire time. It's pretty cool.
I'm amazed.
I know. We just spread the word. They wanted to watch it, so it's great. So great job, you guys. We'll see you all soon. Hopefully.
Sign up for Shakespeare in the future.
Yes. Oh, and our July camps drop on Monday, so check out those too. But thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.